Do you have hooded eyes? Do you have tapered eyelids? Well, you're in luck. For the low payment of $19.95. I'm just kidding. But like, here's a basic tutorial on how to do cat eyeliner for hooded or tapered eyelids. First, you're going to want to pick your weapon of choice, whatever form of eyeliner you're most comfortable with. Go with that, whatever's easiest for you. Get really familiar with your personal eyes, how your eyelid is, where your crease is, if it's tapered, if it's hooded, if your crease is multiple lines, all of that. My weapon of choice is eyeliner pens. Those are easiest for me. To start out, I'm going to map out where I want the eyeliner. This is a good step because it leaves less room for error and you can see how it's going to look before you start filling it in. With my personal eye shape, I find that this is the best method of doing a wing, starting at the bottom and creating the angle of the wing and then going from the tip straight inwards, because when I open my eye, it will be a nice curved wing. I can't tell you exactly how to do the inner corner because it really depends on how your eyes are shaped, but hopefully by seeing this, you can kind of get an idea for it and figure it out on yourself. The placement that I choose for the inner corner point is just based on looking at how my eyelid tapers inwards. That placement works best for me because there is the least amount of movement and I can match it up well with the rest of the liner. For this method of the inner corner, I'm starting at the inside of my eye and following the line downwards so that it is not actually on the crease line very much. It is mostly just on the bottom of my eye. As you can see, I'm just filling in the rest of the outline that I made. For this version of the liner, I'm tapering it in, and in the inner corner, I'm basically just laying the pen flat and making as thin of a line as possible and gradually getting thicker to the outer corner. This way, I can just continue the line of the inside of my eye as opposed to having to go right over the crease. And remember that if you mess up, it is very easy to fix with either a concealer or foundation and a small brush, so if you mess up, don't be discouraged, just keep trying. So with this look, when I open my eyes, it is a curved wing. If you wanted it to be more dramatically curved, you could angle the wing more upwards, or if you wanted it to be more straight, you can angle it more downwards. Just play around with the angles and figure it out on your personal eyes. Another thing to remember is that eyes are not completely even. For example, one of my eyes has a continuous crease line and the other has two crease lines. So even if the liner itself is not the same on both sides, it will still end up looking symmetrical because you individually matched it to each of your eye shapes. So as I said, I find that it personally works well to put the inner corner point on basically the bottom lash line as opposed to putting it right in the inner corner and having it line up with both the top and bottom of your eyeliner. It makes it a lot easier because it goes through less of the inner crease line, if that makes sense. If the crease line goes down past the inner corner like it does on my eye, I found it works best to cover that entirely with the eyeliner so that it doesn't cut through the line and make it look uneven when you move. If you wanted it to be more dramatic or higher up, you can thicken up the line in the inner corner and then basically do the inner corner and then follow where it meets your liner when you have your eyes open. Just follow that line. I don't really know how to explain this, but I'm hoping that seeing it will make more sense. Another thing to remember is that if your crease line folds over in the inner corner like mine does, to make sure that you don't miss that part when you're filling it in with eyeliner. Otherwise, when you raise your eyebrows or whatever, there will be a spot where the liner is missing. If this is helpful or if anybody wants a more in-depth video, let me know and I will be more than happy to make one because I know that it can be frustrating trying to figure out how to make eyeliner work on your eye shape. Another thing that I should add is I know obviously this is still probably a bit dramatic for a lot of people. This is not the way you have to do it, obviously. This is just how I like to do my eyeliner. You can obviously make it as thick as you want. This is what I was talking about with making sure you fill in the gap where the crease is in the inner corner. Otherwise, there will be a space missing when you raise your eyebrows, even if it looks like it's filled in from the front. Depending on your eye shape or the exact style you want to go for, it may look a little bit like this in the inner corner, how there's sort of an arrow. This is mostly just on one eye for me because my eyes are uneven. I don't mind it, but of course you can modify it if you want to change that, but since it lines up when my eyes are open, I'm fine with that. Another style that works is if you follow the inner crease line upwards, you can do a very dramatic cat eye, and either fill it in like I'm doing here, or you can do more graphic liner and have one line going upwards and following that arrow sort of line, and then leaving the middle blank or putting glitter or whatever you want to. These are just very basic styles and techniques showing you that you can play around with this no matter what your eye shape is, and don't let anything limit you. You are free to do whatever you wish with makeup. There are no rules. Sometimes things can just be a little bit difficult to figure out. But do not mistake that for something being impossible, because it is not. So that's basically it. This was a very short mini tutorial, and it was a little bit hard for me to try and figure out how to explain because this is just how I normally do it. But I hope that this helped people maybe think of some new ways to do their eyeliner if they were having some trouble with it. If anybody wants me to elaborate, let me know and I can either explain further or make another video on this. Remember that there is no right or wrong way to do makeup, there are only preferred methods, and it will never be perfect. So I hope this was enjoyable, and thank you for watching.